Hello everybody, it's Michael from Replica Airguns with another tabletop review video for you. Today we're looking at a BB pistol, so a CO2 BB pistol. This one's from Umarex. It's the Colt M45 CQBP Blowback. Again, CO2 BB pistol, and this is the tabletop review. I did get a little bit of a peek at this gun when I was at SHOT Show, and it looked kind of interesting. Basically, it might be a nice option for somebody looking for a 1911 blowback pistol, but perhaps the KWC version isn't exactly what they're looking for. Maybe you want something with a little bit higher FPS performance, maybe a little bit more CO2 efficiency. This gun may just fit that bill for you guys. Now, I haven't done any shooting yet. I haven't done my field test shooting video or even gone out and tried this gun yet. The weather's just been a little bit too erratic. It's starting to warm up, so hopefully I'll have some shooting videos or field test videos coming out shortly. But for now, we're just going to stick with tabletop videos for a little bit here. Alright, this gun should be available in our Replica Airgun store shortly, if not already by the time you're watching this video. And let's get into some of the specifications real quick. It is a blowback metal and plastic build. It's a replica of a 1911 Colt 45 in a more tactical looking version. It also uses 12 gram CO2 cartridges and shoots 4.5mm steel BBs. It has a 19 round dropout metal stick magazine. It comes in at 1.7 pounds or 796 grams. It has a 4.5 inch non-rifled barrel and shoots in single action only. And this gun is expected to get somewhere around 400 FPS, and again, it should get a fair decent amount of magazines per CO2 just because of the design of this gun. It's not completely a full blowback gun, and the efficiency of this gun should be better than the standard KWC 1911s out there. This gun is distributed and Colt licensed by Umarex and made in Taiwan. Now, it does come in this beautiful plastic shell. I've already mangled it. Basically, to get in here, you got to cut them open and rip them apart and all that. But anyways, here you go. You can see your 400 velocity, accessory rail, steel BB, blowback action, some other info there, right? Not too much stuff here, 12 grams CO2. On the back, you could normally see some specifications, but they got that Umarex propaganda in the way. But again, you'll see some more info here, right? Metal slide, 19 round, steel BB CO2 again. Lots of redundancy. Quickly show you the manual since we're kind of looking at this stuff right now. So here's your owner's manual. Again, a lot of the same information, right? A lot of do's and don'ts and how to operate it, you know, how to take it off safe, how to load the magazine, how to load CO2. And it does have a pretty interesting way to load the CO2, and it's unique, and you don't have to be hunting around for Allen keys, which is kind of cool, right? So how to aim, all that useful information, maintaining your gun, things like that. Anyways, let's get into this gun. Actually, before we get into the gun, let's compare it to a few other pistols. And these would be KWC pistols, all right? So let's look at, this is a TAC A1. It's a KWC TAC A1. And the reason I want to show you it is because it looks very similar, right? We have almost identical grips, similar hammers on both of these, similar sights, similar rail system, although this rail is a little longer on this one. Right, so let's see, pretty much the same slide length and everything, right? They look very similar. This is the KWC full blowback version. You can see how far this blowback goes in comparison to, that's all the way back right there, and you can see it's quite a bit shorter, and when it locks in, it's less. So there's less blowback range on this M45 CQBP version, right? But a lot of everything else is the same. You know, it does have a nice heavy slide spring, right? Pretty decent. Maybe not as heavy as this version, but still pretty nice, right? Now, the triggers you'll notice are a little different. I'm not going to shoot the other one because I do have CO2. I will shoot it for you later, but you'll see nice short, true single action trigger on these KWC versions. And the other big difference is the full size dropout magazine. But again, these KWC versions, typically lower FPS, closer to 300, especially after your first few shots. And basically you're going to get 3 good magazines, if you're lucky maybe a 4th. I did want to show you another Umarex pistol. This is basically an Umarex distributed KWC version, and this is the Colt Commander, right? See that? Basically just a different looking version of the KWC gun. Same magazines, all the parts are intermixable, still full blowback operation, right? Same trigger action, all of that. Just doesn't have the sight rail on it, and it isn't quite as tactical. No ambidextrous safety on this one, right? So you can see here, I will show you, might as well do it right now. I will show you the blowback action real quick. It's really fast. It's pretty good, but it's definitely different than the KWC versions. The KWC versions are a little more sluggish, a little more like an actual 1911, a little slower, a little heavier. This is snappy. It does give you that feel. It does cock the hammer to give you full single action shooting, but you'll notice that the trigger takes a little bit to engage. See, it does take a little bit, but that's okay. Put that in safe. All right, so at this point, I'm going to do a bit of a walk around, then we'll get into some pros and cons. Let's take a quick look at this gun. It is really nice. You know, it's right in there. You can see all the markings are right in the metal, right? They're not just printed on, right? You can see here the fit and finish. There's really zero slide wiggle at all. It's just really nice. The finish is nice. You have polymer or plastic frame. You have a metal slide. You know, this part I believe is metal here. It could be plastic, but there's definitely some metal parts throughout, right? You have your metal stick magazine, but it does have basically the butt plate here, which you know, makes it look like it's full size, so it looks good that way. Really nice grips on it. There's your trigger. It's a little different, as you can see, right? Slide catch release works. Everything should lock back on the last round. You've got your ambidextrous safety. You do notice that there's this S and F. Also a little red dot. I think Umarex has done that just to satisfy some of maybe the lawyers in their company or something. I'm not sure. You'll also notice on this side, the warning instructions they're not white. They're just sort of right in the metal. You know, you don't really see them as much. They don't stand out too much. They look fine, and they're small, right? And then you also have some licensed trademarked Colt, right there. Serial number, more Colt information there. With the serial number. There's your grips, right? There's your butt plate. Nice sight rail. Does have the recessed barrel opening, which is kind of cool. Backstrap safety is not going to work on this gun, but again, you do have your ambidextrous safety here. Okay, you do have your white dot sights, front and back. When the ejection port is open, or in the back mode, you're not going to see right through into the mag well like you would on the other guns, but still, nice looking gun. You know, a nice compromise between perhaps a 1911 shooting and feeling gun, but without, you know, with getting more CO2 usage and better performance potential. I'll have to see how accurate they are as well. I did want to show you how to basically get at the CO2 because it is a little different. So you take the magazine out, pop off the cover, and you'll notice that there's some metal in here to give it some weight and stuff. And basically this just slides right out. This little back end on the handle here slides out, and you can put that right in there, and you can turn it and adjust it. Now I did notice, it doesn't show me in the manual that I can see, there's a little hole there, and if you put this in here, you can get a little more leverage when you're trying to turn it. So that's kind of cool. Or you could put another tool in there if you want. But, you know, there's no real, it's a little tight. You might be able to get enough torque on this yourself, but if you can't, you could always put that little magazine in there and get a little additional torque. Okay, this just pops right back on. People ask all the time, can you replace the grips on these 1911 pistols? And you know, you can on the KWC versions, right? These guys you can with a little bit of removing some material on the back side of them, but you can put 1911 grips on these ones. You won't be able to do it so easily on here because it's got its own sort of clip in there and everything, right? All right, let's get into some of the pros and the cons, and then we'll finish up this review. The M45 CQBP has good weight and a solid feel to it. The build quality and the finish seem really good with excellent tolerances, and the finish I think is going to wear really nice on this pistol. It has a nice snappy blowback action with a pretty heavy recoil spring. Overall, it's a pretty accurate 1911 A1 style replica in most ways, more of a tactical version of course. It does have a single action only trigger, but it is longer than your typical 1911 trigger, so keep that in mind. It's also fully Colt licensed, and I like the white dot sights, machined hammer, ambidextrous safety, and accessory rail. It's cool that the Allen key is built into the handle, and it also has that believable recessed barrel giving it more of a true 45 caliber opening. I also like that the warning instructions are color matched and not so intrusive or obvious. I didn't mention it yet, I should have mentioned it, but you'll notice that these sights look to be adjustable, so you should be able to adjust them. Looks to it like it would be adjustable to me. I could be wrong, but they may be. Not 100% sure of that, but it is possible. Alright, some of the cons. The trigger action is notably longer than a real 1911 trigger, but it is still single action only, which is nice. Now, there's no working grip safety, but you do get the ambidextrous safeties left and right. It's not easily field strippable, at least traditionally speaking. I'm sure you can take the slide off one way or another, but you might be voiding your warranty. And again, it doesn't have a full-size dropout metal magazine, but rather a stick magazine. Alright, that wraps up this review of the Umarex Colt M45 CQBP CO2 Blowback BB pistol. Make sure to come on down to replicairguns.com where I'll have my written article for this pistol along with additional photos. We also have our Canada and US online replica airgun stores where we sell BB guns, airsoft guns, pellet guns, blank guns, knives, and other accessories. Don't forget to subscribe. Also check me out on Facebook and Twitter. Username is Replica Airguns. Until next time, take care.